There's an old cottage on a beautiful walled garden wall, and Jamie Dunbar-Naismith had done an insert of a modern building looking out into the garden.
It was very important to the client that we must respect the original architect's intent.
For example, the living rooms have got glass at high level so that you get a continuity of materials.
What the client wanted was to infill the overhang of the roof, but we were losing that floating effect. So eventually that led to us putting the extension in this dark corner where nothing really ever happened. We'd originally wanted to have a band of glass where the two roofs met, but we just couldn't get that to work with the restrictions of height. But equally, it could be a mirror. So we put a mirror along this wall and you think that the ceiling goes through.
We went to an architectural salvage yard and bought lots of old mahogany. The bathroom is lined in mahogany. We've got a couple of mirrors on the sides. It sort of looks like a bay window. It's created a real gem of a room.
On the upper floor, the bedrooms were very bland. The space would be far more dramatic to create a cathedral roof within the bedrooms and expose the ties, and the client was absolutely delighted with that.
It's the extension and restoration of an old steading, which we were successful in gaining planning consent to convert into a new really low energy house. We were quite restricted in terms of where we could have windows, but thankfully we could have windows to the south so that you can get good solar gain. And that also allowed that really strong connection between the house and the garden. And then we have the new build extension. We deliberately made that contrasting to the kind of heavy stone, and it has a flat roof which is planted with sedum, and when it's in flower it's just absolutely covered in bees. They have quite a big extended family, so to have a really good size space where they could all come together was an important aspect for them. The house has been designed to Passive House standards, and all the windows are triple glazed, the roof lights are quadruple glazed. There is no central heating required, no requirement on any forms of fossil fuel. There's also solar thermal panels which contribute towards domestic hot water. It's very, very efficient to run.
We had bought a listed building in 2016. Truly, it was absolutely hideous.
It wasn't just superficially terrible, like it hadn't been upgraded for years. It had some serious structural problems. The problems got worse as you went down through the building. We stripped the whole property out and left the building for almost a year. It didn't really take well to being underpinned.
I mean, the description to me was, it was like standing on sand at the seaside.
It turned out that there had been a drainage problem in this building, and once we managed to fix it, the building started to self-heal. But in terms of the design brief, Laura was very clear. She wanted a contemporary heart in this home to pull all the levels together. She wanted lots of windows onto this garden and a proper connection.
Our daughters live on the Georgian floor and Colin and I live on the next floor, and we have a cinema downstairs and a bar area for a multi-generational family approach. So we've got a direct route out to the garden with very few steps so that my parents could come and stay with us as they're getting older.
We've kept all of the room forms and we've kept all of the bathrooms in the subsidiary room spaces in between, which is true to the original concept, preparing it to the standard that it was built originally.